Welcome in. This is a channel for all things metaphysics. So it is basically created to become additional support to people who are doing prayer work, manifestation work, healing work, energy work in their lives. So I believe that manifestation is a huge part of any energy work, right? Any alignment work that you're doing in your life. And the reason for that is because your reflections, right? Whatever is reflecting in your life, that's what lets you know where you're at, right? And how you're doing energetically. For example, the higher you are, the more light you are, you will reflect generosity, abundance, enjoyment, pleasure, joy. You will feel good to yourself, to the people around you, right? You will be a vessel for abundance, not to flow in just for you, but to everybody else who is around you, associated with you. You become a vessel for that. We are all vessels for something, whether that thing is pleasant or unpleasant, right? Now, the lower you are, which is now the more dense you are, this is when you will reflect lack, scarcity, a separation, feeling and being separated from everything that you want. I'm just cleaning the screen because it looked like I had something over there. But anyway, so you will reflect that scarcity, that lack. It will be reflected in your physical experience, right? So now, this now goes out. It now moves out of the manifesting superficially, because when you're manifesting superficially, it's like when you're like, I wanted this, I want a car, I wanted that, and then you're doing all of these things to get there, and then you can't sustain it because your foundational work was not set in place for you to be able to align yourself with these things easily. Meaning that it's not supposed to be the superficial thing of, oh, let me manifest long nails. Like, if you are in the right place and you've done the energy work and you're in the right place naturally, the nails you want are there. Everything that is aligned with you is there, right? So this is what we are talking about today. So we're going to be filming in this format because we would like to have some space on the sides to illustrate, right? Some space on the sides to illustrate some things as we go. So as you can see, I have my boxes finished over here. I'm going to show you guys what's inside of these boxes later on. But today I want us to discuss how the Trinity plays out in relationship dynamics, right? That's what we're going to be talking about today. So I got some feedback yesterday that I thought, okay, this is a perfect example. This is a perfect reason for me to expand on what it is that expand on the foundation that we created yesterday. Because these videos, I want them to be a build up, right? Because even for myself, the more I do this, the more we share, talk about these things, discuss, I'm also growing, right? So I want them to be a build up of concepts, going from one thing to another one to another one to another one, instead of being a bunch of separated ideas and things that don't really come together, right? So this is what came in this morning. Hey, lovely. Thank you for yesterday's video. Very insightful. I didn't understand the provider man thing until you linked it with universal providence. But how can you receive from a man in healthy ways without feeling like a gold digger or that you are using him now? So today, what I want us to do, I want us to start with the foundation, the formula, right? Understanding the threefold nature of divinity and how it works, right? So we're just going to be looking at it metaphysically, like when we're talking about masculine and feminine energy in the grand scheme of things. Then we're going to take those elements and then we are going to animate them in the relationship space, because it's a give and take, right? Masculine energy nourishes feminine energy, and feminine energy energizes, right, and replenishes masculine energy, meaning these things feed each other. They work together, right? So it's not a thing of you are receiving and you're not giving anything back, because that's transactional thinking. Like when you're thinking about it transactionally, this is when now you're like, okay, I'm going to give you this and you're going to give me that, right? So that's not nourishing and it's not nurturing on a long term. It's not so basically we are going to illustrate this so that you can see how it plays out. Yeah, right? So we are talking about how the masculine and the feminine works together in the metaphysical sense. And we are going to start here with understanding the threefold nature, which is at the foundation of numerology, right? Because if you get this, you get everything else. So now we have 0 and 10. So in previous videos, we have spoken here about the celestial nature and the bestial nature. So 0, this is where all things are connected. 10 is where all things are separated. So 0 now is, you could say that this is the dead and this is the living. This is the land of the dead and this is the land of the living. Because in the land of the dead, everything is connected, like you've gone back to source. So now this 10 is like how much of this wholeness, that wholeness has been separated 10 times, right? So that's what that 10 is about there. This is separation. And then this is wholeness. So you would say that this is the spiritual realm and this is the physical realm. So that's at the basis. This is 0 and this is 10. Okay, now we will then move into the Trinity, which forms the foundation, right? The Holy Trinity, or let's say the original Trinity, because this isn't the Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? But then the original Trinity is Father, Mother, Son. Now, Father, this is the place of providence, right? It's masculine, it's a place of providence. Mother, this is the place of universal expansion. And then child, this is the results, this is the consequences, this is what's happening in the material, right? These are the material reflections. So that's one, that's two, that's three. And then this is the first three. The second three, right? Because the threefold nature of divinity means 1, 2, and 3, right? So this is layer 1. Layer 2. Here now we have this, right? The two minds. We know that the masculinity is the mind inside of the human body. It's the mind, that's masculine. And then femininity is the womb, that is the ankh. And then here the material, this is the rest of the material body, right? The whole of the material body. So in Chinese medicine, they've got upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian, right? So that's what we are talking about there. Now, here you are now thinking of the mind is the two minds, right? The left and the right hemisphere. So you have what I call, there's the air mind and then there's the fire mind, right? So the fire mind, this is now what guides inspired action, because fire is inspired action, that, oh, I feel inspired to do this, I feel, like I feel motivated to do this and that, and then you do it, and then it aligns you, right, with the people, places, and things, and all that good stuff, right? So inspired action is what now mobilizes you in the physical. That's what you have control over, in the sense that processes help you to adjust this. Your processes help you to adjust the fire mind, right? Meaning that we know that the air mind, this is the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is the seat of habit. So it being the seat of habit, this is the place now of habitual thoughts, habitual patterns, everything that is being done naturally. And this one mobilizes providence, right? Providence. So you've been praying for this, you've been asking for this, you've been wanting all of this, and then it got mobilized, right? For example, I just thought of a really nice, I just want to throw this in there, right? Where are you? Yes. So for example, right? Us, we are like we're very, very results driven. So we like results, because results are the only thing that show us that whatever it is that we're doing works, right? So this is why I like throwing case studies out there everywhere. It's a thing for me that's like, okay, so we're on the right path. So this is feedback from last week, right? This person's like, good morning, Tembi. I hope you are well and you're taking care of yourself. Tembi, just an update after our previous session. I just want to let you know that I signed my contract yesterday for the promotion I've been praying about. In our last reading, you did mention that something big is coming in terms of work. I also want to share that everything in my life has been amazing. The man they gave me is treating me soft. Everything I've been asking for is happening. Thank you for always being there to listen to me and for always assuring me that things will be fine. You're an amazing human being, and I pray that God blesses you. God and the guides bless you for everything that you do. Love you lots. So you see that thing of mobilizing providence? That's what we're talking about when we are talking about mobilizing providence. Let me just move this here so that when I edit, I can find it. Right? So now that goes now to the conversation of mobilizing providence. I'm sharing this so that you can understand the difference between what mobilizes providence and what mobilizes inspired action. So this one is the one you have control over, because then this one directs this one, in the sense that all your habitual thoughts, your patterns, your these are like your prayers. This is like, where your focus is at, right? So this is now like your pattern, because everything that's here in the subconscious mind is your build up. The things you've been practicing over and over again. Some you've taken from your childhood, some you learned along the way, but this is like the habitual stuff. This is the naturalized stuff. This is the stuff that has now been automated, the system that automates. So then that subconscious then lets the conscious, it takes from the conscious to say, oh, so this is the direction we are taking. So now when you are shifting this using mental diets, there are many processes that people use to shape and shift this around. So there is visualizing processes. People like to use mantras, affirmations, prayers. These are just the tools, the processes that help you to get into the feeling state. So you don't have to worry very much about the feeling state, because the feeling state is always going to follow where your focus is going. Meaning that this particular lady, her entire process, her entire strategy with her prayers were around, you have to sit in the enjoyment of this that you want. She knew the type of relationship she wanted to be in. She knew that she wanted this promotion, and she had to do the work of being in that feeling state, right? Being in the place of, this is how good it feels to be there, right? So you can't be saying things like, oh, I will be happy if, because you are putting it there in the present. It's not in the future. You're putting it in the future. You're putting it in the future. It's not in the present moment. Right. So it is when something is in the present moment, that's the only time that you will then mobilize inspired action. And once you've mobilized inspired action, you are then changing your air mind, which is now the place of the subconscious. This is the habitual space. So this is why sometimes Certain people will then commit themselves to a practice for a good month, 2 months, and then they'll start seeing some changes and reflections, right? Because that's how long it took for their providence mind to catch on, right? Because this is the place that we call the seat of habit, right? So it means the things that it only picks up the things that you do repetitively. If you're going to sit there and you're going to say, oh, I'm a millionaire, but you don't really have the software for that, that's like a deviation to the providence mind. So it's not going to waste time and energy on that because it's not really your default. But if you're sitting on it, sitting with it, and then becomes natural and natural and natural, the more natural it then becomes a part of your providence mind, right? So those now are the two, the masculine mind, feminine mind, or rather the air and the fire mind, or also known as the eye of Horus and the eye of Ra, right? We spoke about it in detail in another video. For now, I just want you to capture how that is linked with providence, right? So now that's just for layer number 2, right? Now, no, that's layer number 3, because layer number 2 was the fact that it's mind, womb, body. Layer number 3 is its functionality. Great. Now, moving here to the second part, which is water. Water now being the womb inside of the woman's body, which is the ankh. The ankh is known as a portal between the living and the dead, right? Between the dead and the living, right? Spirit, physical. Because obviously when a person conceives, gives birth, you fetch that spirit comes from the wholeness, the fullness, right? Comes in, joins the separated space, right? So you are fetching something from the immaterial to the material. So manifesting is like that. Manifestation is the same thing. You are fetching something from the imaginal. Client fetched it from the imaginal spaces because she knew what it is she wanted. So all of those realities are already there already. So you are zooming into the one that you pick, meaning if you can imagine something, it already exists, right? So you being able to sit in it is you zooming into that. When you understand parallel realities, right? And that within parallel realities, it means that you can move in any one direction at any point, right? So the one that you zoom into, that's the one that you're choosing, that's the one that you're going into, right? So now that then is what we're talking about here, right? Which is now, this is the thing that she fetched in the imaginal spaces, which is like pregnancy. You're fetching something from fullness, wholeness. It's not yet manifest. It's not yet materialized. And you are bringing it into the material reality, the material spectrum, which now leads us to the final point, which is child. So with child, now you have, this is the resulting reflection, whatever is showing up from that. So this is now, these are the people, the opportunities, the resources, the circumstances, and the ideas that are in your life. Remember that that's how providence works. Providence aligns you with the right people, circumstances, opportunities for you to get what it is that you want, right? And then here in the physical, these are those things act like manifested. So meaning that in order for you to see what it is that you've been asking for from God, whatever it is that you've been pulling in from spirit, you need to be looking at what is around you right now. The people around you, because they are a reflection of your fire, which is your electromagnetic signal. This is your signal, because how everything gets grouped, everything gets sorted by the things that it's similar to, what it is like or who you are like, right? So that's when you start changing your energy, your reflections start changing as well, because now you are now in a different place. You will be grouped. It's like laundry. White t-shirts together, red t-shirts together, black t-shirts together. Suddenly, if the black t-shirt finally gets bleached and it's no longer black, it's not going to sit in the the black box anymore. It's going to go into the white laundry bag. So same thing also with how these types of things work. Now, that now is the threefold nature of divinity and how it works. And the basis of it is here in the Trinity. So you have the 1, the 2, the 3, right? The 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9. So you can see here that you have 2, 4, 8, 3, 6, 9. So 1, 5, 7, it's all of the odd and the masculine numbers. The feminine ones, 2, the 4, the 8. You know that if you multiply, if you double 2, you get 4. If you double 4, you get 8. Here, if you double 3, you get 6. You double 6, you get 9. You understand? So it's like these things that are then building on top of each other, where 1 is the celestial nature, and then 2 is the bestial nature, which is where everything is separated. The physical space is a space where everything is separated, and then the celestial or the energetic space is where all things are connected. And then the womb is a portal between that. So now when you're manifesting, you're working with womb energy as well, because you are bringing things in from the unseen into the seen, right? That's like giving birth. So every manifestation is very much like giving birth. So now that you understand that, this is the foundation, this is the formula. This is the complete mathematical formula, because there's not a single number that is not here in the spectrum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the numbers are present in this chart and in this formula, and if you can understand it, your life becomes easier, because now when you're working towards going from the more dense matter, material spaces, and you are moving up, once you understand this, it becomes easier to do that. Anyway, now that we have broken down the threefold nature of divinity via numerology, right? Oh yes, the other thing that I want to add before we move into this. So when you are doing it using tarot, the air is linked to 2, 4, and 8. So 2 is the moon, 4 is Uranus, 8 is Saturn, right? And then the fire mind, it is linked to 1, 5, and 7. So 1 is the sun, fire, right? 1 is the sun, and 2 being the moon, it links it with the subconscious mind, right? So here you have the 1, the 5, the 7. The 1, this is the sun, 5 is Mercury, and 7 is Neptune, which makes sense because 5, that now is like communication with the cosmos, being able to communicate with divinity, right? Because that's what prayer is. Prayer is Mercury. It's communication with the cosmos, communication with yourself, communication with the divine, right? And then when you are moving to the womb, which is water, that is 0, right? Water is 0 because it's the thing that is in the immaterial, right? And then earth is the material. So earth now 3, 6, and 9. 3 is Jupiter, 6 is Venus, 9 is Mars. So now it kind of like groups everything together, because 3 is the number of expansion, right? And expansion is femininity, right? Expansion is also the fact that 1 and 2 has come together and now 3 has happened, which is expansion, how God keeps expanding themselves, or how divinity keeps expanding and multiplying itself through people or beingness, right? So that's 3, that's 6, and that's 9. So 6 is Venus, which is mother. 9 is Mars, which is man. And we know this because men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? So now when 9 and 6 come together, 3, child happens. Okay, now that we have that foundation out of the way, we can then now move to explaining how these two things play and how they work together and how they feed each other. I'm going to drink something. Now, let's talk about attraction. Let's talk about attraction between a man and a woman. So, a man's provisional strength, it secures survival. So, a man's provisional strength secures survival. A woman's nurturing strength protects and builds and energizes that provisional strength. Right. So, a man's provisional strength, it secures survival. A woman's nurturing strength, it energizes and it multiplies that power through succession. I want to say that again. A man's provisional strength secures survival, and then a woman's nurturing strength, it energizes and multiplies that power through succession. Succession now being the child. Now we're talking about, this is evolutionary psychology, like evolving, and that if you and your partner, you guys are iPhone 12, your children iPhone 13, iPhone 15, iPhone 16, right? So that is evolution. It is evolving that energy. And so femininity is really a luxury in the sense that when you think about back in the day, men would go to wars and they get killed in wars, and then the women have to now be in the masculine where they are now taking care of the children, they are doing this, they are doing that. So femininity in itself is very much a luxury because it is only switched on when there's no need for survival, in the sense that if the building is burning down and people need to run for their lives, no one is thinking about pleasure. I was thinking about pleasure and joy and fulfillment. Why? Because the house is burning down and people need to get out of the building so they don't die, right? If there's famine and there's an economic recession and whatever, people aren't thinking about joy and being zen and being love and light. They need to fucking survive, right? So they're out there. And now, even when women are in highly masculine spaces, it's because there isn't really provision for that. So if they have to provide it themselves, they cannot sit in their feminine. A woman who is in her masculine cannot be in her feminine. And you know it because when a woman lets herself go, right? She lets herself go because there are children, she has babies, she has wife, she has babies, she has husband, she has this, she has career, she has all of these things. She's burning out. She's burning out. So pleasure feels like a waste of time because why? She's a single mother. And in being a single mother, there are things that seem to be more important than feeling good and looking good and being pleasurable in life. Remember that masculinity is purpose driven and then femininity is pleasure driven. So it is luxury based. It is luxury based, and it is a luxury in the sense that you only get to experience, even in the body. Let's not make it about man and woman. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he likes talk. He's my favorite teacher. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he speaks about this as when the body is out of stress and is not in a stress environment, the body can then focus on long-term building projects. So he's he speaks about cortisol in the body, that cortisol and other stress hormones, they get triggered when a person is in high stress environments, right? So when your body is in fight or flight and it's working to survive and move on to the next place, there's no energy that's going towards replenishment. There's no energy that's going towards replenishment and healing and all that good stuff, because all those reserves must go towards fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, so much that if the body is fighting and there's nothing to fight, it starts fighting itself, right? Cancers and all of these things. So he has helped a lot of people heal themselves. People have healed themselves of cancer. He's healed themselves of a spinal. He broke his spine at some point. He was able to heal that because then he understood how that masculine and feminine energy works in the system. He doesn't call it that, the feminine and masculine. It's just how I understand it. But how he articulates it is when the body is in a stress, fight or flight mode, it's not focused, it's not, there's no energy that's going towards replenishment and healing and fixing the things that are broken inside, because the body is at war, right? So now that is in itself that play of the masculine and the feminine. And we see it a lot also in women, because women actually cannot get pregnant if they are in highly stressful environments, meaning that creativity requires for you to not be in a space, to be in a safe space, right? An example of that is this lady's case. She said, "Dear Gogo, here's a funny story. Since 2021, if I'm not mistaken, you kept saying the underground gang will bless us with a baby. Almost in all our sessions, you kept mentioning it. You'd even ask if I want another child because you see it coming as a blessing. We'd laugh about it. Well, exactly this time last year, and I kid you not, I kept trying until I gave up. This year, I literally said it with my own mouth that I don't want another child. Plus, I'm too old for it. And guess what? I found out last week I'm pregnant. My mind was all over the place, filled with so much disbelief and shame. I kind of rejected the whole pregnancy thing until I accepted. Now I'm extremely happy. What's even more mind-blowing is how now, in the reading we just had, you again mentioned how super fertile I am, and that I don't want, and that if I don't want a baby, I should prevent. And my response was, well, it's too late now. Great session we had. Apologies for the long message, but wow. So this particular lady, look at how there was a place where she was wanting, giving resistance. Then the minute she let go, she's like, oh, okay, great, whatever happens. That's when she then released, and then things were able to work how they were supposed to, right? So this now, keep this in mind when we are now illustrating the dance between the masculine and the feminine, because this information could save a relationship, it could save a marriage, and it could create a very healthy dynamic in unhealthy spaces still. Yeah, so let's illustrate it. So the man is a ruler of the material environment, right? And then woman, she is a ruler of the energetic environment. Ruler of the material environment is survival centered. So this is what makes them purpose driven. Like they go into everything logically. They are not following their feelings and their emotions to say, oh, this feels great, I'm just going to walk in. So they are very logical, right? They are logical. They think everything through. They are not like us where we just follow our bliss, right? And so the ruler of the material environment is very survival-centered, pleasure-driven, protection, right? And then the ruler of the energetic environment, she is pleasure-driven. Why? Because when a woman is in her pleasant place, that energizes it. There's something that it does to the masculine. I want us to get into that. Now we're going to go in a circular motion so that you understand how these things work together. Great. Now, a man's provisional strength, right? A man's provisional strength provides safety to the woman, right? And so when a woman receives the safety, she can now be in spaces of joy. She can sit in her nurturing energy, right? Which is why, obviously, if the men go to war, they all get killed. Now the women step into the masculine spaces, right? So that all the children and everyone is going to be fine, right? Now they occupy the masculine space. But now when this masculine area is taken care of, so there's no reason for her to be in that environment, now she can sit in her feminine, which is the place of joy, the place of nurturing, this place of expansion, right? So the safety that she receives, she now glows, she glows, she gets like this glow up, she starts expanding, she looks beautiful, she's happy, she's joyful. And you see this because the minute a woman is getting love and she's getting affection, she's getting nourishment, because provision is not always just money. Provision is also attention, affection. You are giving, you are giving to her, she's receiving affection, she's receiving attention, she's receiving all of these nice things. She just glows, right? She becomes more beautiful. She takes more care of herself. She just radiates. Right. So now that safety allows her to grow and expand in that she's not using up her reserves, because masculinity in women is a reserve. It's not like in men where it's a default, it's an automatic thing, which is why when the provider conversations are being had, a lot of women like to say, well, we can do everything men can do. We can provide for ourselves. We can buy our own Chanel bags, whatever. Yes, you can, because it's a survival thing where if this is missing, you must get into your reserves. And now because you are in your reserves, femininity, which is the luxury, cannot show out through you. You're sitting in your masculine, therefore your femininity has no place, right? Meaning that For men, it's more natural. It's like fighting, right? Men are physical strength people. Testosterone is physical. It's like going to the gym. It's like going to war. It's like stick fighting, right? Women can be physical, go to the gym, stick fighting, whatever, but she needs to do it. She needs to work twice as hard as the male to get there. Like, this is something Nina Ifan likes to speak about a lot. She used to speak about this a whole lot, that men have 16 times more testosterone than women. So meaning that if a man wants to, he can kill you with much less effort than you can kill him. Understand that. Understand that. They have more testosterone, meaning this is what makes them rulers of the material environment, which is what makes them also to be able to mobilize things, right? Women can come with the grand ideas. Oh, it would be so great if we did this and that. And then the man actions, it makes it like a practical thing because they are more practical than we are, right? So now this is physical strength. You understand? So now, because now you have a more natural physical strength that is not as effort as it would be for you. It's there. They do it much easier than we do it. So now, because it's there for you, you're not using your reserves anymore. It's like the body is not depleting its resources anymore, fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting stress or whatever inside of the body. Now it can relax, and because it can relax, now you're conceiving, which is what happened to client. She was able to relax, and then in her relaxing, she was able to do the thing that femininity is supposed to do, which is bring life. We bring life, we carry life, we breathe life into things, which now moves on to the second part of this circle. Now, because safety allows her to be in her expansion, in her expansive spaces. And that energy of expansion is actually a luxury. It is a luxury because not everyone gets to it, right? And you can see it in wealthy women, right? Wealthy women have a very naturally expansive energy. They speak better. Everything about them is much more illuminated than people who are in the tougher spaces, and it's because their capacity to expand is more. By nurturing herself, her body, her home, her life, by nurturing all of these things, she becomes more radiant. She becomes more energized. So her nurturing strength is more, because a woman's strength is her nurturing. A woman's power is her nurturing strength. A man's power is his provisional strength. And remember that provision is not always a currency, but in the world we live in, what can we do and say? Provision is also like what he's able to give, the amount of love and attention and focus and whatever he can give to the woman. But anyway, the more she nurtures and pours into herself, the more that container grows, right? The more expansive she becomes, the more beautiful and radiant she becomes, the more yummy she becomes. Because femininity is yumminess. Femininity is sexiness. Femininity is joy. The femininity is how infectious that, and you know it because if you've ever been around a woman who is joyful and she's happy for whatever reason, and you're around this person, you feel happy too. You're like, oh, I don't know what you're happy about, but I'm happy because you're happy. So it's infectious, right? It's infectious in that when a woman is able to sit in her body and sit in her emotions like that, it infects everybody around her positively. Now it goes back now to the man, because now this man now, because he has the luxury of an expansive woman. This is something that is actually addictive to masculinity, because masculinity is very rigid, it's very black and white, it's very logical, it's very straightforward. It's not flowers and roses, right? And then here's this person, she's flowers and roses and she's joy. So that is addictive, because you can imagine a man coming from work, hard day at work, just been working, comes back. There's this joy in the house, there's this pleasure, and it's amazing. This energizes him, it recharges his battery. He goes back to work, he's a stronger masculine, right? Because he's just been charged. It energizes him. And this is how now men, they get married and then they go from being a 6-figure earner to an 8-figure earner. It's because he's got nurturing expansion in the home that's just always welcoming him with all this goodness. And it doesn't matter to a lot of men how intelligent a woman is, because intelligence in itself, yes, there's emotional intelligence, and then there's like other intelligence. I don't want women to feel like, oh, they need to be dumb or anything to get in healthy situations. But a lot of, you see wealthy men and trophy wives, right? The trophy wife, she's just there for her pleasure and her joy. She's there to feel good and to look good. The more good we feel, the more radiant we are, the more colorful we are. And this is something that feeds the masculine, because when a masculine is receiving that, it energizes him. He goes back into the world and he fucks shit up. Wow, because he's strong. It has given to him. So that now is the dance between the masculine and the feminine, meaning that when a man provides to you, gives you something, gives you attention, gives you time, gives you focus, gives you love, gives you warmth, gives you children, gives you money, gives you a beautiful home, gives you a car, gives you a whatever. It's not that you are just leeching, taking, receiving, because femininity is expansion and multiplication. You expand all of that because it goes back to him. And that expansion, when it gets to him, it recharges him, it energizes him. This is why men, when they fall in love, they just become the craziest things in the world. Why? Because it's like a drug. That thing is like a drug. It's like a drug. It's like a high. And I mean, you're on the planet. You are here on the physical planet. Why would you not want to feel good? Why would you not want to have that high that no drug can give you? Why would you not want to experience that joy and live life and have all of these beautiful, nice experiences? Why wouldn't you? So it's so pleasant, and it strengthens them, and it gives them this. And you see it in men who have a huge rotation of women. Those when, like when you think about Andrew Huberman and all of his the scandals around him with women and whatnot, this man was getting recharged in different ways by these people, but because he was unwilling to give back, because he had these fears of, I don't want to be, maybe he has these fears of, I don't want to be tied down to a woman, or I don't want the woman to control me. You know, society, women have fears where we have fears that we're going to be left, or we're going to be exploited or used or whatever. Men have fears that, ooh, the same fears that, ooh, she's going to use me, go digger, take my this, take my that, finesse me or whatever the hell. So now he's not giving and you are not receiving. And therefore it becomes like a, it's not like that healthy exchange, right? It's not that healthy exchange. And yes, femininity is expansion. It's not just receiving, because a lot of the people online, when they speak about feminine energy, they just speak about receiving, receiving, receiving. It's the receiving is twofold. Receiving is one part of it, and then expansion is the other one. Think about a child, right? When you have a child with a man, you are expanding that man, you are multiplying that man, you are doubling that man, you are expanding that man, right? Because you are taking something from him, you are incubating it, and then you are then putting it out into the world. So that is you multiplying. So then femininity actually multiplies. So all that she then receives that nurtures her, the providence that she receives nurtures her, because it nurtures her and it makes her happy and it makes her joyful. Like, just think of a child. When a child, hey, when a child receives, little children, before they are taught about God, and religion and all of that, the child, before they are brainwashed with all of these things and conditioned, the first God that a child knows is their father. Their father is their God. Like, have you heard how children speak about their dads in preschool? Yeah, my dad. The dad is the hero. The dad is the greatest thing. Like, their dad is like, oh, my dad could do this. My dad, this and that. And my dad has a big car. My dad has a this. So the best gift you then give to your children as a female is you give them that provisional strength through their father, because a man who is in a healthy masculine space, a man who has healthy masculinity is literally the first God that your children will know. And we know this because also when you think about when a man is praying for whatever they're praying for, they're like, oh, God, bless me with a big house, bless me with a whatever they want, bless me with a huge car or whatever. When that car comes in, they are so joyful and they are so happy and they are so appreciative. That bliss and that joy, that's how a woman feels when you give to her. It's like a little child. The little child, when you give her something, no matter how little it is, it could be a sweet, could be a whatever, they are so happy. You've made their whole day, and you can see it in their faces that they are just joyful to receive. So that feels good, right? That feels good. So even inside of the dynamic of the man and the woman, when the man gives, it gives her joy, right? Because femininity is receptive, right? In that it bonds via receiving. And then the males, they bond via giving, right? So now when we put it inside of the energy centers, the two energy fields that are stronger in men is the root chakra and the solar plexus. Those are more developed in men, which are places of masculinity and grit and force. And because when you think of the solar plexus, this is the place of drive, motivation, willpower, getting out there, career-wise, growing career-wise. They're growing because a healthy masculine in that he's constantly always growing work-wise, career-wise, always advancing. And then the root is a place of survival and stability, firm foundations, resources, taking care of that. And the root is how, although children come out of the woman, they're actually a man's, because survival is very masculine, right? Survival of the genome is masculine. So then the root here, you see it because the male's organs, they come out of the body, like they protrude out of the body. Our organs, they go in. So now you are then receiving, right? So now with the feminine and the energy centers that are strong there or more developed in women, that's the heart center and the sacral center. The sacral is the womb. Going back now to the place of the temple, that the sacral chakra, this is the temple inside of the human body, right? The cleaner the temple, the stronger the woman is. And it's because of that expansion and that joy, right? That fulfillment that is then infectious. And to be honest, the male's emotional capacity is not like the woman's because of how they are designed, right? So now when a woman is in this big emotional capacity, she's feeling all these grand and these great emotions, and she's this, it infects him too. Because it infects him with that goodness. Now he has been energized to go out there. He goes out there into the world. His capacity for provision multiplies, which is why then he'll go from being a 6-figure earner to an 8-figure earner and above, right? Because he gets charged at home, he gets energized, he gets revived, right? His woman is a person who is in tune with life, and she gives life, she speaks life, she brings life, and that feels good to masculinity. It feels good. You are in your body, and you being in your body means you're being in your joy. You feel good. He is in his mind, right? And then those two things work together like a plus and a minus, because we know with magnets that are the same, they repel each other, which is why when a man and a man come together, they can push each other apart. But when a man and a woman come together, they pull together because they work together. One is the left, the other one is the right. Going back now to that situation with the one client, the married client, a man who's like, hey, bro, this man, we have kids and he's building a house for his mother. But here we are, me and my kids don't have a home yet. She has been in very masculine spaces for a very long time without realizing it. She's been using her reserves, especially because the male is he's a person who takes from her, takes money from her, borrows money from her, does this, does subconsciously. He sees her as another man. That's another masculine, because he's in his provisional state, she's in the provisional state. She's the one taking care of everything, taking care of the kids, taking care of this, taking care of that. So he knows that even if he's not showing up, she will cover everything, right? So now what happens is, because provisional energy gets joy from providing, he'll go there. He'll go provide somewhere. We see it a lot in the black communities, because if a man is not providing for the wife, he's providing for the side chick, or whatever, the concubines and the whatevers. So it's like there's an incoming call here, but I'll answer it. So that's just how those things play together. That provisional energy enjoys, it feels good for it to provide. And then the nurturing energy, it feels good for it to receive and multiply whatever it has received. Femininity is pleasure driven, and then masculinity is purpose driven. So understanding that then allows you to, once the safety has been provided, you are not needing to provide the safety anymore. So you can not use your reserves anymore, sit in your joy. And then by sitting in your joy, things start going good for you, right? By sitting in your joy, you energize and you revive everything through your power and energy. So this is just to expand on the thing with the woman, where the woman was saying, hey, how can I receive from a man without feeling like a gold digger? You sit in your joy. You sit in your joy, because that joy is actual worth and value. To us as women, it doesn't feel like anything, because we are constantly love and light and roses and flowers inside anyway. But to a man, that thing is valuable to them, because it recharges him. It gives to him. So it's not like he's getting nothing, that when he gives to you, he's getting nothing in return. He is getting something. That joy also, because masculinity feels good when it does what it's supposed to do. Providence feels good when it provides and it gives something. And you receiving it gracefully and receiving it joyfully and receiving it happily, it does something to them, because then that is also a thing of, like their provisional strength, that, wow, I have that strength to give her that thing that she wants. It feels good. It feels good. So now when you as a woman, you're like, oh no, I don't want this, I don't want that. You're not serving your joy. Because you're not serving your joy, you're not giving him anything. He's not getting value from it. Because he's not getting value from it, he's not being revived and he's not being replenished. He's going to end up getting it wherever else. And now you have problems in your household. So don't worry yourself about, oh no, let me not take. Because that's how it is from us. You don't want to take from another woman, because we understand how hard it is for us to be in the provisional space. It takes 2 times more effort for us than it does for males, right? And there's no joy in actually getting. It's nice to know you can provide, yes, but there's no real joy in it. For us, the joy is in spending it. You're going out, you're getting the makeup, you're getting you're making yourself look fly as hell. That is fun. That is fun. You're decorating your house, you're making your house look good, you're making your house look pretty, you're making everything smell good. That's fun, right? And now, because it's bringing you joy, it's bringing your children joy, it's bringing your husband joy, it's bringing everyone joy, because now he can't wait to come back from home every day, because there's a heaven. He's going to heaven where he's going. That's the value you provide as a woman. Allow the masculine to take care of safety, and you take care of the more energetic. Remember that the energetic is linked with water. Water is emotions. Water is the astral, which also explains now why women are more spiritual than men naturally, right? We are more in tune with the energetic spaces, the places of feeling, because there are certain things we can't see and experience with our physical 6 senses, but you can feel and experience it with your emotions, right? Women are more in tune with that. So if you have a strong spiritual woman, things start lighting up for you. Like, you just go out there and you become a man among men. Like, when the other men around you, they feel like, oh, this one is a boss. This one is because you radiate differently, right? So it amplifies you and it expands you. Okay, so I've spoken for a very long time because this is a topic I enjoy. It's something that I'm very, very passionate about. You guys know I'm passionate about metaphysics, but I actually have to go now and deliver these, right? I just wanted to film this quickly in the morning so I could go 10 o'clock to drop off these so that I can do. I've got sessions today that I have to do from 3. But let me quickly show you what's inside the box before show you what's inside the box. So you guys know that I do like aura products, right? To purify, cleanse, clear everything up, right? So this one is for. Okay, so this is what happens when you open the box, right? Got tissue there. So these are like salts, steaming and bath salts there. You see like they're very herb infused. Show you this side. So these are very herb infused there to clear up your aura, to clean it up. We call them attraction salts because once they have removed all of the stress inside, everything just goes well. And then my main thing, which are the root soaps. There's I make soap out of roots. These are roots that have helped me to kind of like amplify myself. So this is what the root soap looks like. It's Castile soap made with like natural roots and herbs. And then we have the hibiscus. So this hibiscus, it's hibiscus and berry, right? You just strain it and you make a tea with it. I like to make kind of like an iced tea, a honey iced tea situation, which is what I'm drinking here, all right? Which is what I'm drinking here. Hibiscus is like a natural vitamin C, like the one vitamin C from nature. You will get that. So I gave them 2, right? Because I like them. So and then this is like a shower gel. It's black soap. It's like a black soap shower gel, which is really nice. Made with activated charcoal because activated charcoal is purifying. It purifies. So now with all of these are things that you're doing with your aura, right? This is for your light field. Purifies, clears up the aura. And then I've got these, ta-da, the new things. So as you can see, this is a supplement, right? This is a supplement here, and this is like activated charcoal, right? So there are 3 different supplements that we then make. There are people obviously that want the benefits of hibiscus without having to drink it as a tea. So then powdered hibiscus can be made into tablets here. Then you have hibiscus tablets. But this is castor oil, right? This is castor oil. So I want to debunk a lot of the myths with it because we were all raised fearing castor oil because we were given like bottles and bottles of it, and then we would get all this diarrhea. It's used as a laxative. So this kind of hexane-free, chemical-free castor oil, what it does is it cleans your system up. Both of these are for detoxing the system. But I want to say this, right? Anything that you take, even with omega-3, omega-3 fatty oils, so those oils are obviously good for the system. But if you drink a cup of that, a whole glass of that, you are overdosing. That's an overdose. So we all have all these negative associations with castor oil, and we are not really reaping the benefits, the Ayurvedic benefits of it, because now we have been using it as a laxative. There are other properties for this. It's an immune booster. It is it increases glutathione. It's an antioxidant, a very strong antioxidant, right? And it really helps with boosting immunity because it's important for gut health, right? My skin is radiant. My skin is clear like this. My complexion is great. All my dark spots are gone. It's because of this. Now, because you are taking it in such small dosages, you are not going to run. You don't get diarrhea where we feel like if we've had castor oil, now you need to sit all day so that it can clean you up. No, it goes into your colon. It cleans up your colon little by little by little, like 1 drop a day, 1 drop a day, 1 drop a day, 1 drop a day. So all it does is it regulates your stools, right? Regulates your stools. Obviously, the first few weeks, it will feel like something is a little different in your, in your stomach and all of that, but you have to stay consistent because I've seen results from doing this, and I don't give to people things that have not worked for me. You guys know I'm results driven, results over everything. So up until something gives me incredible results, I'm not sharing it with anybody. And so we have this, and then there is this, which is activated charcoal. Activated charcoal also very good for gut health, right? You want to regulate and have a good gut flora, right? Which then helps you to heal everything and fix everything. The only reason that I'm adding this in is because I had a client who came in with feedback saying, I've been using your gut supplements for a while. My skin had broken out so bad, and I'd even given up. I'd gone on a course of antibiotics. I'd bought expensive creams. Nothing had been working, and I'd even given up. And then just like a few tablets, and my skin is clearing up completely. So it's like with omega-3, what omega-3 does, if you take omega-3, it definitely improves the skin, right? Because it cleans the system up from inside, right? So now if you are removing all the excess waste, everything that's not supposed to be in there, because now any buildup or any growth or any unpleasant thing or any parasite inside of the body, it's a buildup. It's not something that happens in one day where you just get like a boom, like something and then you die, right? It's a buildup. It's like you have that buildup of waste inside of the system that's been sitting for a long time, and you're not eating clean and you're eating all of this rubbish. It's a buildup, and now you have fat, and now you have whatever. Now you have all of these growths, right? So now what I like about these capsules is that not everyone is able to eat clean, right? We eat clean from time to time, but then you will go there, have a bit of sugar here and there, have like indulge in like some fat or whatever food, right? Because of the lives that we live, right? Not everyone is able to eat clean 100% of the time. So what this does is, as you are taking in some dirt, you are also taking in something that will go in and make sure that your gut flora stays clear and stays clean. Ever since I started taking, you see, it's flu season now. It's flu season now in South Africa. I literally had flu for like one day, and it was gone. Okay, so now what happens is it really makes your immunity strong, right? Your immune system becomes strong and it's able to fight and do what it is. This for me is like giving your body a bath, right? You take a shower every single day because you understand that you don't want dirt on your body, right? So you take a shower every day. Why wouldn't you want to take a shower every day inside your body? And especially if it's not going to make you run like you're running to the toilet. What this has done for me is it has regulated my bowel movement. It has just regulated it, right? Meaning that I know that if I'm going in the mornings, I go in the mornings all the time now. And you just take just one a day. So your body is not feeling it, it's not reacting to it. It just kind of like gets used to it that, oh, this is our shower time, right? So you want to have a clean inner environment, because a clean inner environment will show on your skin. Your skin is radiant, it is flourishing, it is beautiful, and your complexion is great. So yeah, so that's what these are. So I'm just gonna rush over and go and deliver these because I think I've been here for a very, very long time. Yeah, so that's all that it is that I wanted us to discuss today. So I'm gonna go do this drop off, come back, do the work. So I might not upload this today. I will probably be able to edit this video, kind of do the illustrations later tonight when I'm finished with all my work. So I'll probably publish this tomorrow. It's fine. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful, productive day, and I hope this information helps you. I hope it nourishes your life. I hope it adds value into your life, because it's added value on mine, and I hope it just fills you up with joy. So was I.